You know, there was one incident that happened about 2 weeks after my wife passed away that really kind of gave me a sense of direction of what I wanted to do with her story and how do I wanted to expose alcohol use disorder. And this is the first time you're seeing me. Well, my wife of 25 years passed away from alcohol use disorder a little over 4.5 years ago. And unfortunately, I tell a lot of stories, very detailed stories about, certainly the last few years of her life, but there was one poignant moment after she passed away that really bothered me more than any other. And it really kind of defined the whole situation with her life because it's really all about purpose. And I came home from work about 2 weeks after she passed away, and there was a package on the front step. I drove up into the driveway, and I could tell it wasn't an Amazon package. It wasn't an eBay package that I sometimes get because for this room, I get items from World War II. Now, this was a different package, and it really startled me as I sat in the driveway from the driver's seat and looked at it because I realized exactly what it was, and I couldn't even believe it was sitting on the front porch. And honestly, it took me a moment. I shook my head sitting in the car, and I slowly got out of the car, closed the door, walked up the steps towards the front porch, and I picked up the package and I looked at it. And it just took me a while to really wrap my head around what was going on. So from there, I opened up the front door. At this point, my son was in college, my wife was gone. I was living at home in this big house by myself, which was very weird in itself. And I sat down on the front living room couch, and I looked at the package again, and it said, "Human remains, do not leave." And what it was it was my wife's ashes, and it had been delivered, and it wasn't supposed to be left on the front porch. And whoever delivered it just left her ashes on the front porch like it was, some books from Amazon or something or any other package. And it really hit me, just how impersonal it all was, but really it defined what was the purpose of all this struggle and strife and frustration and animosity and trouble the last 6 or 7 years of her life. What was the purpose? And as I sat there with essentially a box of ashes, I had to ask myself, there's some form of purpose that I've got to find from this experience. And I just sat there thinking, 7 rehabs, 4 DUIs, multiple emergency stays, ambulances, inpatient, outpatient, psych procedures, psych hold procedures, inpatient psychology, psych stays, all kinds of things. Numerous AA meetings, smart recovery meetings, online and in person. None of it made any difference. None of it. And she ended up succumbing to the disease, and her last month was just horrific. I have other videos if you want to follow that. And I just sat there and go, what was the purpose of all this just attempting to help this person? And tough love in a lot of cases where, we had to essentially abandon her in some cases and, just make sure she did the right thing and turn it on her. And tried every angle and every possibility, and it was all for naught. And I realized this story was so important to tell. It was actually essential because I know so many other families and alcoholics are going through this, and it helps alcoholics tell this story so they get to see the effects they have on the people in their life. It's very important because a lot of them are just not aware. They're so down deep into the different levels that they don't even realize that it's affecting more than themselves. It's important to bring that out. And it's essential for families to realize that they're not alone and they're not the only ones going through this. So I had to find purpose. And as I sat there with my wife and this box of ashes, I realized I needed to find purpose where there seemed to be no purpose. And that's why I started talking online. This is why I did 65 podcasts in 9 different countries, why I talked at on television, why I've been to rehab facilities, which is really how it all started, and essentially all the social media, the Facebook, the YouTube, and certainly TikTok. And this is just expanding from there. But it all comes from that, from finding a sense of purpose after 25-year marriage that ended in ultimately, her passing away in a horrible, horrible, horrible ending. And I wouldn't want that to happen to anyone else. And this is the purpose. And again, if this story or any of the stories resonate with you and you want, further assistance, I would strongly recommend joining our Facebook group. It's called There's an Alcoholic in the Family. I also go live Monday through Friday, right around 6 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. I'm on the East Coast, California, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Also, if you're ready to work with me one-on-one, click on the link tree, go to the Calendly link, set up a Zoom call. It takes about 45 minutes to an hour. We do a deep dive into what's going on with you and your family. Call is free, coaching program not so much. I want people who are ready to change their lives. And again, thanks so much for listening.